Welcome in, everyone, to Barely Educated, episode 109, the very first live stream. We decided to finally join the 21st century and really show our faces. So here we are. I'm rocking the Justin Fields jersey. Chris, my co-host, as always, welcome in. He is in full meatball mode.
That's right.
A totally important and absolutely relevant counting victory for the Bears in the first preseason game.
Super Bowl!
I would ask, how are you? But I think we all know.
Oh, yeah, my friend, I'm doing good. Yeah. That was...
Hang on. The glasses are actually Bears glasses. This is
not
it's a Bears logo on...
Okay, not awesome.
And we lost all our viewers.
Yeah. Hey, I'm looking at the, looks like the Facebook thing is working. Yay, that's awesome. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Now,
thank you anyone who's joining us.
Yes, both of you.
It's not obvious. Yeah, all two of you. Here to talk about Bears Titans, week 1 of the preseason, the screen game.
Yes.
That's what I'm calling it. It's going to be known as forever.
That sounds good. Yeah, well, let's get the most important detail out of the way, or the least important detail out of the way. The Bears won, and that means nothing in the big scheme of things.
So we are here to overreact to it anyway.
That's right. I mean, am I happy they won a preseason game? Of course. And I'm happy anytime the Bears win, but let's just keep it real that the outcomes really do not mean anything. But we can pick up things that we saw during the game that can hopefully point to future trends or things that we can expect to see in the regular season. So just to get that out of the way. Yeah.
Yes. We know it doesn't matter. Now let's spend 30 minutes analyzing it anyway.
That's right.
No, it actually needs more nuance than that. Big surprise that I say that, right? But it matters in terms of young players and guys on the bubble getting good reps and showing other teams their film. Like, there's a component where it matters. It's just the winning and losing doesn't matter. But I think it can matter how certain players look. You might be able to learn some things about, like, the scheme a little bit, but I don't think they're scheming very much. So I actually am kidding around when I say it doesn't matter. It's just the result doesn't.
The result, yes.
But and the thing I think was worth pointing out real quick before we get into the details is that was a fun preseason game. It was sloppy with all the turnovers. Kind of hilarious. We had the 3 straight turnovers in 3 plays.
Mm-hmm.
But I had fun watching it. I didn't go, I don't want to do this anymore halfway through it like I usually do in the preseason.
Yeah. So what in particular made it fun as opposed to what would make Bears preseason games notoriously not fun in the past?
Both teams moved the ball. The pass rush was good. I mean, it's all backups by that point, but I don't. There's just enough going on that I wasn't bored to tears like you sometimes are in the preseason. Mm-hmm. And you had basically a quarter of the Bears starters, although the Titans didn't play hardly any of theirs, so that is certainly worth noting. And obviously, it started off in a way that was fun for us Justin Fields fanatics, who finally gets his, I didn't have to do anything good stat game that you're supposed to be able to get in the NFL.
Right.
Everyone's like, oh, you didn't do anything. Hub Arkish tweets out that he could have made the play. I'm like, no, you couldn't, Hub. He eluded a sack on the second one. I don't see you out there eluding sacks.
Yeah.
And didn't do what we want? I think you made this point in your retweet, right? It's worth repeating about on the 2 touchdown plays, what Fields demonstrated that we've all been clamoring for him to demonstrate.
Yeah, the decision making. I mean, neither throw was a deep down the field 60-yard bomb, but the big complaint or concern about Fields has been his processing of what he sees in front of him. Maybe in the past that's just been, looking for the big play instead of taking what is in front of him. But on those 2, especially the second one today, you could see that he saw the blitz coming, like, nope, got to roll out here, take what's right in front of me. And he did, got it to Herbert, who just all the way down to the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to see the plays again to know if it was design screen on the second one. It was a little harder to tell. At first, it definitely was. So I don't even know if he had to read much, but It's like you pointed this out in the group chat too. The irony of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The football gods owe him a few, and I guess he got one today, where it was actually a bad pass.
It was, yeah. Moore had to kind of lean. Moore had to lean it forward a little bit and bobble. It was a little bobble because he was reaching for it. But yeah,
the Bears got a real receiver without all these caveats. I know they have some other pretty solid ones, but they got a real number one in the 10 to 15 range or wherever he slots in the league. He's the real deal, and we saw that already. That was pretty cool. His first catch takes it to the house after juking a couple guys.
Yeah, he's got wheels. That was beautiful to behold. And some good downfield blocking by the other receivers and tight ends on both touchdowns, actually, I think.
Yeah, and Kmet made an awesome block at the initial point on the Herbert one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the takeaway here is Justin Fields is going to have 8,000 yards and 130 touchdowns, as somebody tweeted out. I saw. I think it was Deeks. I can't remember who it was, but yep, that's right. There it is.
Just keep up the pace, my friend. Yeah, that's right.
So I think we should spend the most time as far as breaking it down with the ones. Mm-hmm. We should shout out maybe a few other guys. Sure. It wasn't all sparkles and rainbows, though, because I have some concerns coming out of that first quarter, too. But again, don't panic, okay? It's not that big of a deal. The front seven stunk the first drive, point blank, period. They didn't set an edge. They gave up a huge cutback lane. They didn't have much push in general. And it was like, ooh, well, that looks a little bit like last year. And then they played better after that. But they definitely airmailed that first possession.
Yeah. Was there a level in particular that concerned you more than the others, or just...
Probably the edge, because they didn't set it twice, and it led to big gains. And it's such a basic thing. I've talked about my time coaching high school edge. And it's like the number one thing we teach is to set the edge first. Of course, in high school, there's so many dominant run teams that you would do a lot more of that even than in the NFL. But hello, you're playing the Titans. Right? And so for them to allow the huge cutback was terrible fundamentals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that stuff you can clean up. So I'm kind of glad they put it on tape because, the coaches are going to light them up for it. And then just, they had a couple plays where they had all day to throw.
Yeah, it's still
and then pass rush actually picked up the rest of the game. And I'm dying to know how many actual NFL starter offensive linemen were the Titans even playing at that point in the game, because I don't know. If that's against backups, oof. But a lot of teams will give their line ones reps when no one else is a one, because they need to gel. Like we didn't see Hopkins, obviously didn't see Henry or Tannehill.
Right.
So we played the JV squad, but I wondered if some of the guys in the trenches were starters, and I don't honestly know. But and then Tyree Stevenson had an interesting day.
Yeah, started off like, "Hey, welcome to the NFL, rookie."
Yeah, where are you?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Wasn't that the first play of the game?
Yeah. I was like, wow, 29 got totally roasted. Oh man, it's Stevenson.
Dang it. Yeah, that was disappointing.
But then he played really well the rest of the way.
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm.
By my count, he made 2 really nice run tackles, one for a loss, and at least deflected 1 pass. I almost picked it off.
Yeah, maybe should have, but that's okay. First preseason.
And Kyler Gordon was thumping, which deserves a little notice since he was a very slow learner last year, but we both thought he came on at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Pretty neat to see his first in-game action in year 2 be so aggressively confident, right? I don't know if he makes those hits last year because he's thinking so much. Mm-hmm. At least not at the start of the year.
Yeah, so maybe putting him at nickel is like, all right, man, this is your position right here. Learn it inside out. Maybe that's what they did, and that just focusing on that can slow down a lot of what you got to process and remember. Mm-hmm. So maybe that was the right thing to do. 2 hits where he knocked the ball out. Was it even his first 2? So
I thought the second one was actually a fumble. First clearly was not. Mm-hmm. But the point is, he's making the play he should make in the moment that he needs to make it. Because he's coming from the backside, helmet down. I saw somebody else tweeted out the peanut headbutt.
Yes.
So that was great to see. And I know I talked with his cousin Nate.
Cousin Nate. Oh, there you saw the live.
That's what it looks like, everyone.
That's right. Cousin Nick. Yes.
Oh, man. So I know I've mentioned it to him a lot last year, and I think I mentioned it on here a couple of times, but I didn't like that they were asking the rookie to learn 2 positions last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you triggered that, that take coming back up in my mind when you mentioned now he's got the 1 position. And I mean, they're in that so often. He's a starter. There's no reason to jerk him around. Let him play nickel if that's how he's going to look. So we didn't really see him get tested in coverage.
True.
And as far as the secondary, I know Eddie Jackson was back there. I saw Jalen Johnson in a couple snaps. I don't think those guys played much. Did Brisker play, or was he scratch?
I don't know. I didn't see him. And you mentioned Eddie. Sadly, the only time he was mentioned was when he got beat bad on that first drive. Oh man, he did not set any kind of. I don't know. The guy just ran around him. It was like
he didn't break down.
No.
So there's a lot of slop actually with the first team D, and there's one real negative coming out of this. Because, again, it's too early to matter and all that. But the D, the last couple practices, looked a lot better than the O. And then they come out and they don't look all that great that first drive. It makes you think, ooh, what's up with the O-line? A little bit. I'm still concerned about that O-line.
Yeah,
but they played okay. Sure. They played okay today.
Yeah.
It's like this is the D that was getting a lot of push. Like, ooh, what's up with the O-line?
Yeah. On the interior, too. That's where it seemed like the...
Yeah, Billings made one good run stuff, and then we saw Zach Pickens sack later. Was he get into the 2s? Mm-hmm. Dexter went out with a knee injury on some friendly fire. Hate that. That's probably the worst thing in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like we came out pretty healthy. Otherwise, though, we're doing this right after, so I don't think they've done the post-game injury report such as they have to.
Right. Yeah.
I don't even remember how much they have to tell us at this point in the preseason. But I'll check Twitter as we go to see what they say about it.
It didn't look too bad at first, but it didn't seem to go away either. Like he
tried to play through it.
Yeah, he tried to walk it off and play through it, but then that turned into no, I can't do it, man. So I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, that scared you a little bit more than just like the initial play.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's preseason. Let's not push it,
Right.
So.
True.
And we should talk about Darnell Wright as well, and maybe go back over to the O-line. I didn't notice him a ton, although I did see he got out in front for a couple plays in the run game. He's going to be really good at that, like, immediately. And on the Herbert touchdown, go back and watch it again if you haven't. You'll see it looks like he's about to get beat, and then he just, like, hulks up and, like, stonewalls the guy. It's pretty interesting. Like, he got beat, but he had so much power he didn't get beat. Like his recovery was incredible, and I was like, "Oh, now that you don't see every day."
Nice.
So his guy was not the guy Fields had to elude on the plays that Hub Arkish could have made. Dumb.
No one wants Fields to succeed more than I do. I don't think that's true. Yeah.
Definitely not the case.
Yeah. That's kind of his thing, though. He says that phrase a lot. Nobody wants Matt Nagy to succeed more, or nobody wants this more than I do, or no one's more progressive than I am. Or I've heard him say all that, or that line several times.
I know we all speak this way, and I'm certainly guilty of it too. But whenever you have like a preface that's a catchphrase, it's kind of a red flag to me. Like,
yeah.
Let me be honest with you. Okay, so normally you lie to me.
Right.
Think about what some of these expressions say, and I know they're basically just like lazy expressions. People don't mean it to that degree, but I'm rooting for him as much as anyone, but I'm going to dump all over him.
Right. For
no reason.
And it was a bad take, too, yeah. I mean, every great quarterback has had the yak receiver, bail him out or bump up his stats a little bit. I mean, that's just the way the game is. So
it's just about time that there was a Bears grouping of skill players that could bump up the stats.
Right.
I mean, A-Rob the first year, I guess you would say was that good, catching stuff that was thrown who knows where by Mitch sometimes. But we have been so bad at the wide receiver screen for so long. The royal we as the Bears fan here. No, we have been so bad at the screen that it's great to see it actually work.
Yeah, across decades and regimes, and when did we first start seeing that? Was that the Gary Croton Dicteron that first year? I think that's when the team first started trying trying the wide receiver screen. It never worked for them, and then it never worked after any regime after that.
With it. And Nagy was just obsessed with it. I just wanted to be like, it's not Tyreek Hill.
Right. Yeah. We mentioned many times that was his fatal flaw of, not realizing who he had.
Sink and hitch.
Yeah.
The all hitch route plays, man. Okay, enough on him. Matt Eberflus, according to a Chris Emma tweet a minute ago, described the statuses of Tremaine Edmonds, Nate Davis, and Jaquan Brisker and other injured Bears. I don't know if that would then include recently injured ones, but then other injured Bears as day by day, indicating there's no long-term concern. And I think Emma now is just speculating at this point, but since the Bears conduct joint practices with the Colts next week, it may not be an ideal spot for returns. I don't think he's trying to say that Eberflus said that last part, but he's just sort of preparing us all maybe for the thought that those guys may not play this week either.
Okay. So I didn't know if Edmonds played or not. I guess he did, huh? Or...
No, he didn't play at all.
Oh, he didn't play at all.
That Justin Fields is live at the podium, so if you're listening to us instead of Justin Fields, what's wrong with you?
I don't think anybody is. But that's okay.
Yeah, we're not in season 4 meeting.
That's right. I'm curious to see what he has to say and how he read those 2 plays that led to touchdowns. I'm assuming the first one was a designed wide receiver screen, but that second touchdown definitely looked like a check down.
It did. The first one was clearly what it was supposed to be, especially when he throws to Moore. You can just assume that that's pretty much the first read, I think.
Yeah.
But they also had guys coming out, and the second one, it was like, there were linemen downfield, and I was like, did we get away with that? I don't know. I'll be curious to see what people who break down film think of that play, because there's a lot of moving parts. And like I said, I saw the thing with Darnell Wright, and I was like, oh, he got beat, but then he recovered. I just saw a tweet that actually shows it. It's kind of interesting. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question about that? Your actual knowledge of the game itself supersedes mine. If the quarterback rolls out of the pocket, does that negate illegal man downfield? If he's out of the pocket?
I don't know. I think I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. That's a look. That's a great question.
Okay.
The other issue is I don't. They've changed rules every little bit. I don't think this is one that's changed.
Okay.
But I know in the broadcast they mentioned, hey, is that actually an issue, or did they get away with it or whatever? But then they didn't really give you an answer or come back to it.
Okay.
So, check your Twitter or check your text. I just sent you the tweet that actually shows what I was talking about with Darnell Wright. You can kind of see it from Deke's View, who's a good follow, by the way. In the first picture, you can see Wright is getting beat at the top of the screen there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look what he does by the time Fields is throwing the ball. He's standing straight up and the guy's not going anywhere.
Yeah, nice.
So Fields has actually had to elude pressure that came up the middle. Looks like from the right guard. Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was interesting because he looks like he's getting beat and he recovers, and they don't, usually see our tackles manage to do that. There's a real athlete in there, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I like what Deke's View says in his tweet here. He says, I could have thrown that, and no, you would have been sacked. So that's got to be a little dig at Hub, yes?
Yeah. So, the point of the tweet is to dig at Hub, but it does show you a good look at that play. And I thought that was a pretty cool moment for Wright.
Yeah, and Fields rolls out of the pocket. He comes towards the near side and then throws it to Herbert. That's why I was wondering, because he came out of the pocket there, does that get rid of an illegal man downfield? That's what I was
I don't know.
wondering about.
And also, if they were running a screen, they didn't run it all that great, but they still scored a TD with it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a nice. I think it was Komet had a real nice block. on that
Yes,
touchdown.
he did. He had a really good block too. That's a good complete tight end.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's what I mean when I say the game was fun. We saw some good moments from the young guys. Saw some bad things. We probably need to note the Bayless Jones. Why are you not fair catching that? Because then it's a penalty. Just fair catch it.
Just trying to make something happen, I guess, but you got to know that you can't do that there.
How many of these does he get?
That's the thing. I don't think
he's a third-round pick. You don't usually cut them the second year. I'm not saying they should. I wonder how irritated they are, though. And what's his role on the team if he can't be the punt returner? It was a terrible pick at the time, and it's not looked all that great ever since.
Yeah, you're right. And you said it at the time. I was more optimistic.
This team did not need a gadget guy in the third round.
Yeah, you're right.
And I mean, that's just a really bad football IQ play. Probably like a super nice guy or whatever. It's just his job is to know when to fair catch, when to not fair catch, when to let the ball go. And he literally tried to catch it as he's getting hit, which means he should have done the fair catch.
I just don't see him making the team. I like you said, a third rounder, second year. You wouldn't expect that, but they just, they've upgrade. Apparently, who's the Cincinnati kid?
Tyler
he fumbled
Scott
today.
But he's still catching the ball and getting open.
Yeah.
Although he had a lot of drops in camp the last couple of days before this game, but still, they still are like very fond of him. The people covering the team are like, he's open a lot.
Yeah.
He's got the kind of speed you can't teach. He's younger than Bayless, for one thing.
So are we, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's harsh. No. And he's more polished even as a rookie than the second-year guy. I mean, they're not cutting Scott. Is Bayless good enough at punt returning to beat out Dante Pettis or someone for the last receiver spot? They're not going to cut St. Brown because they love his blocking. And the first three are obvious. Well, they keep him 6 or 7 or 8. I mean, at some point, some of these guys are going to go. And Bayless has that draft status, and that's it. If he's on the team, it's for that reason, unless he goes crazy these next couple games and shows you something.
Yeah. Hey, we got a comment from Tim, former student Tim.
I was supposed to set you up for the sale.
Oh,
he's
sorry.
off the game. So preseason, everyone.
Preseason, yeah. All right. Take 2. Cut, take 2. All right, go for it.
Oh, we got a comment from former student Tim.
Former student Tim.
Wow, he really revved up for that one. All right, read off the comment.
One big thing for me this game is now that the tape is out on the offense, even minimally, how does the league defend them, and what is the Bears' response? What is clear is that we finally have an offense that is organized and has weapons. Yes, 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 yes.
I don't think it'll impact it all that much. I mean, I see what you're going for, but this isn't going to be that different than what they ran last year. They're going to pass more, but it's still going to look like a LaFleur, Shanahan tree offense with those concepts, right? And they didn't. I don't think they gave you enough reps to go too crazy with that. Like if I was the Packers preparing for Week 1, I'm still waiting last season more than this preseason. Although I'm expecting to have to pay way more attention to the wide receivers.
Yeah,
but they didn't throw the ball downfield enough to give much away, I don't think.
There are players you need to worry about if you're going to play the Bears, not a scheme necessarily. Or
it's the same scheme.
Yeah.
You just hope there's more volume in the passing game.
Well, based on today, I mean, last year on that, especially the second touchdown, Fields runs that last year.
He didn't even throw it, probably.
But not this time. He's like, okay, I'm out.
And
who's down
Herbert drops it last year. He was pretty bad at receiving last year.
Yeah.
What did you think of the running back since we stumbled our way into the running back?
I don't think Johnson is going to be 4th on the depth chart very long.
No, I think he's pretty solid.
He's a bowling ball, and he's got some wheels to him. So
the best thing to get him on the field early will be that he blocks so well.
I don't think he'll be number 1 anytime soon, but
I don't either.
But maybe he should, because I mean,
too early to tell. Foreman had a really good year last year too. So did Herbert. Like I think the idea is just committee, just like with pass rush, other than Ngakwe.
It would have to be that because Herbert is not an every down back. He just doesn't have the power. He's got great speed. I love his speed. Like when he gets around the edge, we saw that a couple times, other than just the touchdown.
Yeah, the trick is going to be not being too predictable based on who's in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another comment from Tim. He loves the use of the screen game and how that will allow the great run blocking, or allow them to utilize the great run blocking O-line, which I think is a great point. It will be good to see if they can make that an effective weapon. Also, what that does for the vertical passing game, if teams have to respect those kind of things. I mean, I saw another crazy Patrick Mahomes stat the other day. It was something like he didn't have a thrown touchdown in the air over 20 yards.
Really?
Or something like that. Like 20 or 30 yards or something. You're like, really?
That seems
Because
surprising.
they were so good at working the field and operating in space and just opening yak yards after catch opportunities. And I was like, is that true? I didn't have a chance to fact check it or anything, but I was like, that's what a good offense does, though. The bad offenses just try to chuck it super far and play the risky game all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Good ones beat you a bunch of different ways.
Wow, yeah, if you can follow up on that and report back next time.
Isn't that crazy if it's true, though?
Mm-hmm.
That was the MVP, and you didn't really throw the ball that far into the goal line. It was like methodical drives, and the big plays would be like run after the catch plays.
Yeah, that would imply, a lot of yak, a lot of rack. So
a lot of just good decision, not forcing it.
Yeah, it's good when Mahomes does it, but when Fields does it, he's getting bailed out by his teammates. We're going to see a lot of that for a while, I think.
Just remember, if Mahomes does it, Hub Arkish can't do it.
Yeah.
If Fields does it, Hub Arkish can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Look what I figured out how to do there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Johnson can definitely be part of the running back committee. I think they're going to keep 4 of them, and it's going to be interesting to see if they cut Ebner, probably, or what's the new guy's name? They just got him from Seattle. He played a bunch too today. I can't remember his name. Anyway, it's going to bug me. So anything else you wanted to cover? I got to get back to the kiddos.
Okay, 2 things. One, quarterback.
Travis Homer is his name. Travis Homer. It'll be Homer and Ebner for the final running back because they're going to keep Blasingame.
Homer's a great name, my friend. The quarterback, the secret agent.
Yes.
I know he's
secret agent. Love it.
He's 4th, but when are we going to see? I want to see more of this agent on the field. Had some nice throws.
Peterman doesn't do anything for you.
No, and what's his name didn't either.
I want him to play better because he looks like the process makes sense. Okay, we have Justin Fields. We need somebody with some mobility, so we don't have to change the whole offense. And he was okay for Carolina. Yeah. He was terrible today, though. PJ Walker overthrew everybody.
PJ Walker, that's
weird.
Yeah.
Every pass was like overthrown.
Yeah, maybe jitters, but that was his first pass was a bad interception, way overthrown.
Over.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe they did the wrong route based on the coverage. Whenever it's that bad, you're like, is that a communication thing?
Yeah.
But Nathan Peterman does nothing for me. I'd be perfectly happy if they decide to keep the secret agents instead and just say, we don't need another veteran because PJ Walker can kind of be that guy.
Yeah.
Peterman has to be like an all-time coach young guys the film to be worth a roster spot for how bad he is at the physical part of football. We have like a lot of years of this. Oh, yeah. So he wasn't a train wreck or anything today. He's just so limited. Like there's just no point. What if Agent, whatever, has upside?
Yeah.
Like it would be kind of random, but Brock Purdy's the starter for the Niners. You know.
Oh yeah. One last thing. You want to say anything about Jordan Love? I said Andrew Love. Where did Andrew Love come from? Jordan Love yesterday with Green Bay. Apparently, if you read Packer feeds, was absolutely unbelievable against the Bengals backups. Should we just let that play out?
Yeah.
You don't want to,
Well, the odds are the Packers are not too certain about him, or they would have never extended Rodgers to that kind of money in the first place and created the whole kerfuffle. Okay, but I don't know that he's bad. I don't know that he's good. I don't know how all these people think they know.
Yeah.
I know from what I've seen. I did watch him a little bit yesterday. He's like a lot of young quarterbacks where it's sort of all over the place.
Yeah.
He made a great throw on the touchdown.
Yeah, it was a nice throw.
And earlier in the game, he totally overthrew a wide open first down inside the red zone. So, like, he's I feel like Mitch Trubisky's actually somewhat the comp, and Packer fans are going to be, like, all mad if they listen, which they don't, but that's fine.
Ooh.
But, like, where Mitch actually was like, there's something here. And then the next play, you're like, no, there's not. And if he's under better coaching, then maybe he can be someone that they can develop. But I don't think it's trending to him being like amazing. But I think he might be better than Bears fans are kind of celebrating him like he's a bust already. I don't think we know that.
Yeah, I think that's a good, fair analysis at this point. Tim here, I highlighted what Tim said here of why Bajent is probably not going to move his way up to backup, because he's not that running QB like Walker is.
Well, he's not going to be the backup. I'm saying over the other guy that doesn't move, who doesn't have any upside.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And actually, Bajent ran around a little bit. I don't know if that's really part of his game. Probably not. But
I didn't think so. Yeah.
At the same time, I don't want to be locked into this scramble offense for the rest of time either. You know, it's like Fields can do it to a level that's basically absurd, which is fine when he needs to as an emergency situation. But I really don't want them to do the whole post New England offense every year, because he'll never get through his career.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to run when he has to, not run because that's the only thing the offense is capable of doing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Totally agree.
Out.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for watching our first live stream. And if you're, I forgot to click this thing. Look at that. Isn't that cool? But anyway, thanks for following. We will be back for the next, and we'll be on YouTube next time. We were supposed to be on YouTube today, but there was a glitch in that. So, but that should be all figured out for next time and taken care of. Thanks for watching. Feel free to send us an email. Our address is barelyeducatedpod@gmail.com. Visit our website. If you join our honor roll, we'll send you one of these Barely Educated t-shirts. That's what they look like. Aren't those nice? Yeah.
They are. It's a great graphic.
Yeah. Website is scrolling at the bottom there. Look at that great technology I figured out. Hoo-ha. All right. We'll talk to you next time. Are we going to do a show before the next preseason game or just after again? What do you want to do?
Let's just do it after.
After. Okay.
Right.
All right.
I mean, unless there's like big news.
Okay. So check the socials for all that, but we'll probably see you next after the next game. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bear down.